editor's letter. Chris Dixon. He says, Kenny Bayless gave Amir Khan every chance to prove that he was able to continue in his losing effort against Danny Garcia. Chris Dixon. He talks about graciousness in defeat, citing Derek Chisora and Amir Khan in both their losing efforts by stoppage last Saturday. He says both men showed grace in defeat. Well, Chisora did. Khan was saying it was a lucky punch. The panel are asking, should Amir Khan retire? Lou DiBella, he says it's not for him to say, but he does say he's no longer a major player in the light welterweight division. Johnny Nelson, he says, I don't think so. He's not a shot fighter. He just got caught. If the loss hasn't affected his desire, he should continue. Buddy McGirt, he says no. Maybe he needs to move up. He needs to ask himself how much he wants to give to the remainder of his career. Kell Brook says no. He's only 25 years of age, which is quite young. He says Khan will not want to go out like that. The other question they're posed on the panel is, will David Haye become the world champion again? Lou DiBella says no. Not if he's got to fight one of the Klitschko's to get the belt. If they're removed from the picture, then he might have a shot at it. Johnny Nelson, he said it depends which one of the Klitschko's he gets. He also offers that Haye would have a better shot at beating Vitali than Vladimir. Buddy McGirt, he says yes, I think he's the best heavyweight in the world. I rate him above Vladimir and Vitali. Kell Brook, he says if he's fully focused and dedicated to doing it, he has the ability to achieve it. Boxing Beats and Rhymes says, no, Khan doesn't have to retire yet. He's only 25 years of age. Boxing Beats and Rhymes says, yes, Haye does have a shot at Vitali. It's all going to bank on his mental approach to the fight. The letters are fairly mundane, but I'm going to read one out. It's from Mark Tahar, who is inquiring about the Coco Kid. Mark Tahar has a 1975 ring record book, which contains the records of Leo Hook, Newsboy Brown, and Jake Kilrain. But the book only mentions Coco Kid as winning 9 fights with 2 draws, which is part of a 14-fight series with Holman Williams. I assume from this that he was one of the Black Murderers Row, who was denied his deserved title shots in the 40s. How about Boxing News giving us some information about all the aforementioned? He also mentioned an old school fighter named James Wharton, who I've never heard of. That'd be a good idea, you know, doing a little spread on the Murderers Row. You know what I mean? Might be a good idea. I'm going to go straight into the tweets. Oscar De La Hoya congratulates David Haye for a spectacular performance. Great job, champ. And obviously David Haye replies back and says, thanks bro, the Haymaker's back. Amir Khan, he says, can I apologize to my family, friends and everyone? I got caught with a shot and I know millions of you are upset, but that's boxing for you. Where does Amir Khan go from here? And Danny Swift just landed in Philly. Feels great to be home. Thank you to all my fans who believed in me. I did this for y'all. Danny Garcia celebrates his surprise victory over Amir Khan. Ashley Fairpain, I expected Amir Khan to box Danny Garcia's socks off. But Amir has no boxing brain. He should have boxed Danny Garcia, and he would have won. For those who don't know, Ashley Fairpain is a British light welterweight who actually fought Danny Garcia and went the distance. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of the judges scored the fight a draw. Adnan Amar, who must be either a fan or maybe a relative to Amir, he says, you're still the man. Be happy with everything you have achieved. Whatever has happened for a reason. Zab Judah, he joins in the congratulations for Danny Garcia. I like this fight, and I would like to make it possible. Judah versus Garcia. The readers' poll. which is a silly poll, and I'll tell you why after I read out the stats. Can Amir Khan win a world title again? 71% say yes, 29% say no. James Savin, he says, only if he stuck to the boxing behind his jab, like he used to. The moment he gets dragged into a slugfest, his weak chin is likely to get him knocked out. Stuart Fraser, in today's climate, definitely. He will never be a dominant champion though. Anyone with decent power will have full confidence in fighting him. Shane, because I'm not going to try and say your surname, buddy. Of course he can. Write the kid off at your own peril. Bags of ability, bags of heart. He will be back, no doubt. Nick Southall. Not if he gets dragged into tear-ups. He needs to box at range and keep his guard higher. Now, this is why this is a silly poll. All you have to do is listen to Stuart Fraser's comment. In today's climate, definitely. Yeah, of course he will. Yeah, of course he will. There's 4 governing belts. And despite Amir's frailty around the whiskers, he has the option of people like Paulie Malignaggi, who is not really a banger, is he? And he's beat him already. So yeah, of course he can win a world title again. Silly question. So we go to the 10 count. And they're basically going through all the great Barlid fighters. At number 1, we have Marvin Hagler. If anybody made boldness call, it was Hagler. His shimmering head, decorated only by a sinister goatee beard, was such part of his menace as his destructive fists. Yeah, Hagler did make it cool. You know what I mean? He did make it cool, but there was another black actor who made it cool, as well as Kojak. At number 2, Jack Johnson. The original hairless wonder. Johnson came along at the time when the world was not ready for a black heavyweight champion, with the color of his skin making him more enemies than any boxer had managed to do before so. Being bald was the least of his worries. At number 3, we have Bob Fitzsimmons. While a lack of healthy follicles added to the mystery of Hagler and Johnson, Bob's thinning thatch did little for his ring image. The fighter, complete with freckles and a spindly frame, made a mockery of his geeky appearance by blasting his way to 3 world titles. At number 4, we have Evander Holyfield. After Michael Mora decisioned him in 1994, we all thought that Holyfield was receding quicker than his hairline. But Evander regrouped, invested in some clippers, and embarked on a run that saw him beat Mike Tyson twice and gain revenge over Mora. George Foreman comes in at number 5. When retiring in 1977 after losing to Jimmy Young, his head was awash with hair. 10 years later, he came back like a member of Onyx. They didn't say that, I did. And he went on to make one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the sport. At number 6, we have Ernie Shavers. Muhammad Ali kept rubbing the smooth head of Shavers before the 1977 fight. Ali won over 15 tough rounds. Shavers was dubbed as the Acorn by Ali. Number 7, Benny Briscoe. By the time he and Hagler got it on in the 1978 Battle of the Baldies, Briscoe was slightly past his peak. But the fearsome Philadelphian was one of the best middleweights of his era. At number 8, we have Tutan Tony Galenta. With his comb-over and heaving stomach, he always looked like he had been plucked out of a bar, kicking and screaming. At number 9, we have Pete Radmaker. When the 1956 Olympic gold medalist made his debut a year later in a world heavyweight title challenge to Floyd Patterson, his extensive forehead made him look much older than his 29 years. Number 10, Mazuyaki Koguchi. Koguchi's wig came off during a 2005 victory over Daichi Shibata, stunning the crowd into fits of laughter. They had a rematch 4 months later before Kogachi claimed his suddenly hairy head had magically repaired itself. We go to the hit and miss section. David Haye, after his crushing win over Derek Chisora, is #1 in the hits. At #2, we have Frank Warren for his open-air show under a Luxembourg license, which attracted a big crowd and went off without a hitch. At #3, Golden Boy. After Amir Khan's loss in Vegas, they had no need to worry, as they had both men under contract. At #4, we have David Haye and Derek Chisora for showing tremendous sportsmanship and class and dignity after the former beat the latter in 5 rounds. On the miss section, we have Matthew Hall, who appears to have run out of energy as he was outpointed by Gary O'Sullivan on the Haye and Chisora undercard. Sonny Boy Jara, he comes in at #3. The conqueror of Pong Sao-Click, Wang Junkan, could not hold on to his WB 8-stone title in Japan. Oh, that's a shock. And he beat a long-standing champion. I didn't realize that. At #2 in the miss section, we have the Road Warrior, Glenn Johnson. And at #1 in the miss section, we have Amir Khan for reasons that we don't need to go into again. And we have the Boxing News light middleweight world rankings. At #1, we have Floyd Mayweather Jr. At #2, we have Miguel Cotto. At #3, we have Saul Alvarez. At #4, we have Cornelius Bundridge. At #5, we have Sergei Zinzurich. At #6, we have Eris Landy Lara. At #7, James Kirkland. At #8, Carlos Molina. At #9, Austin Trout. At #10, we have Vadim Martin Rosen. Very briefly on the Adrian Broner situation. He came in overweight. He lost his title. He forfeited a bag full of money. Escobedo got paid a whole heap extra on the night. Escobedo still had the option not to fight. He chose to fight and caught a beat down. Boxers fuck the weight up all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's unprofessional, but it's a hazard that goes with the territory, I'm afraid. Like, remember Jose Luis Castillo against Diego Corrales in a rematch? When he came in over the weight limit and KO'd Corrales really badly. Shit happens. Corrales shouldn't have took the match, but he did. As for the flashiness, you know, whether you say he's copying Floyd, look, the man's just embracing life. He's living in the moment. Whether you think it's too vulgar for yourself, that's up to you. You pay for your subscriptions, you pay for your pay-per-views, you pay for your YouTube comments and your channels and such. It's up to you. But I have no problem with watching a young man who's very good at what he does, punches very hard, he's very talented, scores KOs in all his defenses, has brilliant defense as well as offense. You know, I have no problem in watching him embrace life in the way he sees fit. And you see, my whole thing is, I don't like being told what to do by nobody, by the police, government, no one. You know what I mean? I don't care how hard you are or whatever. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to confront you. So, as long as somebody isn't violating my shit, I've got no problem with flamboyance, man. I mean, like, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Because he's backing it up. The moment that his boxing falls behind the swag, or if it ever does, then yo, I'll have to rewrite the chapter. But until then, I've got Broner in the pound for pound top 5. So at this point, I'm gonna wrap up and say peace out. Peace.